I've done that one. Yeah, it's kind of scary a little bit.
Oh,
though.
wow.
You're going down the side of that mountain and it's all just...
Oh, look at that. That is super. Oh, that just makes me happy just looking at it. Those mountains are amazing. Alright, so we're on a road trip down to the studio. We got some stuff, right guys?
Yep.
Yay! Okay, so what's your question?
Sean, have you ever played any board games, or do you currently play any board games at all, other than, you know, wargaming stuff?
Wargaming is it for me. Board games, just, I don't know. You just can't. It just takes time to learn them.
Yeah.
And but we do have a copy of Super Dungeon Explorer for the studio.
Right.
And that's of interest to me. And there's one other game we got recently. I can't remember. Well, anyway. So yeah, no, not really. Okay,
Gotcha.
What's next?
Pretty exciting. Oh God, I got a question too.
I tried to pretty up that answer, but.
What do you want to talk any of your Chaos Dwarf stuff now?
All right, let's do the Chaos. Okay, we're in the car. We're talking Chaos Dwarfs. So I did a test run with proxies with Jason last night. We were up till 2 a.m. We were actually kind of like our brains were shutting down.
Yes.
At the time.
Forgetting a lot of rules and.
Oh yeah, it was bad. Like I was like, what was I doing again? I don't know.
Right.
We need to go to sleep. So it's one. Yeah, and then it was like one more turn. So we played 5 turns. So here's what I had. I had a unit of Chaos Dwarf Warriors, 20 strong, in the middle. And then to either side I had 10 Fire Glaives, 10 Fire Glaives. That's strength 4, 18-inch range. And in the main unit I had a Demon Smith, which is a level 1 wizard. And I give all my level 1 wizards, what was it? Lore of Death.
Yep. And
the life-stealing spell. And, except the guy in the front had something else. Fate of Buna or something. And a BSB up there too. So anyway, and behind I had it was like 12 Days of Christmas. 3 magma cannons.
Yes.
2 death shriekers. 1 Dreadquake mortar.
Right.
So that's how I did that.
So 2 rocket batteries.
Rockets, yeah.
2 magma cannon.
3 magma cannons. I just sang it.
You had 3.
Liquid hot magma. I had 3. You blew one up right away, don't you remember? With the warp lightning cannon.
Okay. Yep.
So I gave him the first turn just to make a point. And but he did blow up one of the magma cannons straight up.
Right.
And he killed like 5 or 7 dwarf warriors. Right, with all his like Jezzails and all this stuff.
Got some spells through.
Then on my first turn, I killed somewhere like 50 or 60 Skaven warriors. Oh, and by the way, if I were fighting high elves, it would have been 50 to 60 high elf warriors would have been dead.
Yes.
Just from all the shooting, and I blew up the plague furnace.
Right.
And it was brutal. But it was still actually kind of a close game. Because the units that I had of dwarf warriors were pretty thin. He started kind of thinning me out, so by the time he got there, they're only like 5 or 7.
You didn't have much to fight
the Fire
with.
Glaives.
Yeah.
I only had 10 left of the guys, but Skaven are renowned for their shooting.
Units that some things were going to get through.
Right.
You know, like I had a Swarm, I had the Plague Sensor Bearers on the side. Yeah. And so you can't, you still couldn't target everything. So some of that stuff was going to get through.
Yeah, he wore me down with all that little stuff. But in the end, I think if we just... Okay, we're actually rolling now. You got to sit on the very end.
We're rolling right now.
Right there.
Oh, right here, okay.
There you go. Hey, okay, that doesn't seem right. Let me check where you are. Yeah, I got to turn it just a little bit. There we go. Hey, we're in beautiful Valhalla. We're soaring, I'm going to say 150 feet above the... forest floor, at least 100. What would you say it is?
I feel like
from
the
stream. If I were an eagle, I would break tradition, and that's the noise I would make.
The noble, not so noble.
Yep, the noble eagle awakes to greet the dawn. That's what I would do. I'd be like, I'm not going to conform to your rules. Society. Oh, I'm alone.
Right. Nice.
Good times. I just saw Galaxy Quest.
Good
Have
show.
you seen that
Good
before?
Movie. Yes, good movie.
Yeah. I actually cry a little when the guy dies. Mokhtar, or whatever his name is. Yep.
I have a scary eagle story.
Oh, I'm ready. Scary eagle story.
So Northeast Iowa, there's this webcam that they do like a streaming
That's
recording.
where it's from.
Right, I'm from Iowa, and they do this streaming video of eagles, right, in the eagle's nest. And occasionally they have to take it off of the video feed because they'll catch like a kitten or a puppy. And yeah, you can't broadcast that.
So, when they kill something cute, they're not so noble.
Right.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yikes.
They grab like a puppy or a kitten?
Occasionally,
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Like they'll find these big nests later and they'll have all these leashes in them. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right.
That's pretty scary, actually.
Have you seen on YouTube the golden eagles throwing goats off the mountains in Mongolia?
No, I gotta go find that.
Oh, it's awesome. They pick them up and chuck them off of the mountain.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's
terrible.
It's impressive, though. Yeah, it's really neat.
Ah!
Yeah, yeah. They don't look good when they're falling either. You know,
Oh,
they don't.
no.
They don't. Figure,
Yeah, they're not like.
Yeah, get my legs under me
I
here.
could fly higher than an eagle. All right, that's all the farther I can go with that.
Right, right.
All right, so Jason thinks he's hot stuff. No, he doesn't. He pretends. He pretends he's not very good. He's like, I don't know, I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I'll put my guys here. Bam, bam, wham, slam. Oh, it's brutal. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got worked. But
Sean's really good
too.
too.
Speaking of getting worked, I have peripherally picked up like some skills over the years.
Yes.
Okay, so first off, let's talk about Chaos Dwarfs. Because I did a proxy army, and it was like you had to use your imagination.
Right.
These Vargulfs are actually magma cannons.
Right. It looks
liquid
similar.
hot magma.
Right.
No, it will never get old.
So your army had the 7 war machines.
I did. I had, it was 12 days of Chaos Dwarf Christmas.
Right.
3 magma cannons, 2 Death Shrieker rockets, 1 Dreadquake mortar.
Right. And turn 1, it killed, 60?
Yeah, nigh unto 60 Skaven and a Plague Furnace.
Right, that's pretty good.
It just like swathes of vermin were just exterminated from the world.
And that was after you lost one of the war machines, too.
Yeah, that was after. I gave him first turn just to prove a point.
Right.
Because if you hadn't had first turn, I would have been shooting at you yet one more turn before you got anywhere.
Right.
It was hardcore. I shot both Death Shrieker rockets at his
Grey Seer.
Grey Seer. I killed everyone in the unit except the Grey Seer. He was just standing there.
Right.
I shoot both Death Shrieker rockets at him.
Both of them hit, right?
Both of them direct hits. Strength 8, D6 wounds. So I wound with the first one, ward save.
Right, ward save the first one.
I wound with the second one.
1 wound.
Yeah, I rolled 1 as my number of wounds.
Right. So we were saying, it's not much of a death rocket.
Yeah, it was an unhappy rocket.
Right.
They're like, these are death rockets? These are disgruntled rockets.
Right.
Well, fire them anyway. They only
Right.
do 1 wound.
Yeah.
So, okay, so here's what I found out about the Chaos Dwarf list.
Yeah.
First off, it's awesome. They ramped up the power of the Chaos Dwarf war machines to really make that like, this is the theme of the army.
That's their thing.
Slow moving, heavily armored. They have like slaves, hobgoblins flying around, which I didn't have any. Will have now though. Yeah. That's what you need to deal with what the strategy you came up with.
Right, I was just throwing like small skirmisher type units at them. And, I mean, basically just enough small units that some of that stuff can get around as infantry and get into the war machines eventually. But yeah, I don't know. Right, you get some hobgoblins, maybe you block them.
You've got to, because people are going to use that exact strategy, because you can't shoot one of these giant war machines. They don't work well against small units. They hit 2 guys. Right. You know, or they overshoot. They work great against these giant blocks.
Get more of the scattering working for you.
Yeah. The Death Shrieker rocket is insanely awesome.
Yeah.
And the Demon Smiths, which are Chaos Dwarf engineers, that are also level 1 wizards.
Right.
So I had 4 wizards, and I'm throwing all these life leech spells out. Right. So you got to fend that off, and But
then
they
you get the
they allow
reroll.
a reroll of an artillery dice or a scatter dice.
Right.
Once per turn for each guy. So I had
Right.
3 in the back, 1 in the front.
And
Won't
one-
make that mistake
Well,
again.
in one turn you did re-roll 3 times, so I mean you did use 3 of those guys in
because
one turn.
it's not re-roll a misfire, it's re-roll the dice. Like if you don't like the result, you can roll it again.
Right. Well, the scatter die or the artillery die.
Right.
Right. Once per turn.
Yep. Per guy.
Right.
So, but I don't think you could re-roll the same dice like 3 different times.
I don't think so.
Yeah. There's
Probably
that.
not.
That's in the rules for maximum of re-rolls.
Yeah. They seem tough. They seemed really tough.
I like a lot.
The armor was good. You had like 3+ armor and then a 5+ ward against flaming attacks.
Yeah, and that comes into play a lot. That I use that 5-up ward against flaming attacks quite a
Yeah.
bit. It was so Chaos Dwarfs. What?
They were good.
They were great.
Yeah.
Can't wait to play them. Today we went down to the studio. We took a little field trip.
Yes.
Right, the guests at Valhalla. We drove down to the studio and went through trade stock. And I looked for things of, well, how could I make these homebrew my magma cannons? Seriously, I'm gonna have a bald guy as my leader. He's gonna resemble Dr. Evil.
Nice.
It's like, burn them alive with liquid hot magma.
But now you are having a lot of Forge World guys shipped in, right, for the Chaos
Yeah,
Dwarves?
I've got a Dreadquake mortar, which I love, and I have 40 regular guys, 2 commands, and 3 demon smiths. So I'm going to convert that all into my various characters. So the army is 40 infantry, 5 characters, and 6 war machines.
Are you
And that's
getting
it. And by the way, that's 2,000 points.
Are you getting the infantry and the glaives and stuff too?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But I do need more. I need more models in this army. That was what I discovered yesterday. Is 40 guys, and the war that doesn't work. I need more guys. Right. I might drop like 1 war machine. There was plenty of pain in there.
Yeah.
With
-6 is
-1 war
probably
machine.
sufficient.
No, I mean 5. I'll go to 5.
Oh, 5. Okay.
It depends on who I'm fighting. I wanted to play. I would have roasted.
You wanted to
Jason's
play those high
elves.
elves, didn't you?
And because the high elves would have died just as easy.
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
And I would have killed 50 or 60 high elf
Yeah. The game would have been
sword
over.
masters, Lothern Sea Guard,
Yeah.
Phoenix Guard. They would have just all been roasted.
Because you have so much range on those magma cannons.
It's
like
insane.
You can reach out 24 inches and then another artillery
That's where
die.
it starts. Yeah. So it starts at 24. You lay
Right.
the point of the
Right.
template out, and then it goes even further.
Right. And so you can be deployed up to a foot.
Uh-huh.
So you got the entire game table basically in
Well,
turn
if you
one.
do the math, 24 inches plus 9 inches for the template is 33 inches.
Right.
Plus the artillery dice, yeah, from turn 1 you
So
can go all the way across.
43 inches plus 12, so yeah.
You can go all the way
entire
across
board.
the board
Yep.
with the magma cannon.
Right.
No, it's not going to get old. You may as well all get used to it. Because as long as I play Chaos Dwarfs, and as long as Chaos Dwarfs have a magma cannon,
You're going to keep saying magma like
I'm
that.
going to say magma like that. See, I didn't do it this time. I want you to get used to it.
So how soon could we expect to see you fielding some of the Chaos Dwarves in a battle report?
Oh, wow. 3 weeks, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to rush them through.
Okay.
Inside information, we're having a giant, I don't know, I don't want to say clearance sale, but we are going to pull out all the studio armies, a lot of the terrain, and we're going to put those up for sale. Spring cleaning. Out with the old, in with the new. Going to make, because I'm carrying Warhammer Fantasy at the studio, right? That's kind of my thing right now. Loving War Machine too. But we're going to make an Empire army, a Chaos Dwarf army. I'm going to put the vampire counts on the block. We'll see if those go. If they don't, then I won't be sad because I like my vampire counts army.
Very unfortunate.
And there's also, but if they get a good home, that's what it's all about. And I'm doing a Necrons army.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm going to call them Los Necronos. And they're going to be wearing
Spanish
mariachi band
Necrons?
hats. That's right. Ponchos. My,
Nice.
yeah. All right, so what else?
Just 2 cents on what we've been talking about as far as the the magic points or spending on magic
Right.
characters and items.
Jason can't stop thinking about this.
Yeah,
and I know he's going to try.
Well, you know what is actually I was on.
Well, what's the concept? The
Well, the
concept
concept
is don't
was-
buy a wizard.
Right, spend
Don't buy
nothing.
magic items.
Right.
You spend 600 points on that.
Right, and now you have 600 points to spend on other blocks of
Yeah.
troops or war machines or whatever.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that the last couple days have actually made me less of a fan of our concept because it was very decisive. And that Vampire Counts game, it was a big deal. In an Ogre Kingdoms game I played, it was a big deal. And so I think maybe what we're undervaluing is the defensive and offensive benefits that you're getting from both of those things.
From magic.
Yeah.
But I'm still. I still maintain buy 600 points of beat face.
Yeah.
And those will add things too, and kill
Yeah.
things and swing battles.
Well, let's talk. Okay, your Chaos Dwarves example, right? So,
Right.
should you get rid of all those engineers and level
Well,
one casters?
you need the engineers for the rerolls.
for the benefit.
That's why I buy them.
Okay.
The magic is incidental.
Right. Okay, let's talk Vampire Counts then. What do you think in the Vampire Counts army? Can you minimize
I'm almost
that?
to the point now where even though they raise dead. Well, so what? You got a 95-point guy that raises 12 skeletons during the course of the game, if that.
Right.
So okay, why don't I
if they
just
don't get
buy
dispelled.
95 points of skeletons and have them marching out from the very
Right.
first turn?
Right. Have them to begin with.
And
yeah.
that's what I need to do. I need to concentrate my punch.
Don't you need the Vampire Lord though for like the general
You have
aspect?
to. Yeah, you have to have
And
a vampire.
isn't he a level 4?
No, he's a level 1. Even the Lord is a level 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you just give him invocation, so he's doing something.
Right.
But the Vampire Lord is really super expensive. I'm thinking of just taking a vampire hero, basically,
Yeah.
and then just paring down all my character
And just
magic
maximize
item,
all your.
and buy
Yeah.
big old fat units of Graveguard, Black
Right.
Knights, and ram them down my opponent's throat.
Right. And so, and again, part of the concept is that you still get your dispel dice, so you still have some defensive capability. So
Your opponent's going to get off maybe 2 spells a turn, and
Right.
you'll have to deal with that, but
Right.
you'll have a couple more units of
whatever.
bad stuff
Right.
out there.
And they're out there hitting the flanks or war
Yeah, that's right.
war machines doing more shooting attacks to kind of make up for the lack of magic. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, let's talk about Valhalla. So, Valhalla is awesome, and you need to come out. That's all. That's really all I have to say about that. And we're thinking of having out promoters like radio shows and news shows for wargaming, and have them do their podcasts and their reporting live from Valhalla, and play test games, and talk about
Kind of
the future.
review products
Yep.
a little bit.
Product review and the future of the market, kind of a meeting of the minds. And if we do that, we'll still, at least for the time being, we'll still have guests out. So now really is a good time to come out to Valhalla in June.
It was a lot of fun. I got to meet like all the staff, and the other guys who came were a lot of fun to play against. And I got in more Warhammer Fantasy gaming in the last few days than I probably have in the last like year or something.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah, it's a lot. I tried to get him to do another match of the Chaos Dwarf proxy versus his High Elves, but he already knows. He already knows it's death.
Yeah.
It's just complete. So
Well,
give it up for the Chaos Dwarfs when it's like, yeah, let's just not play that.
Well, yeah,
because
really.
I'll be a smoking cinder by the end of it.
Well, what do
It
you
is
have?
brutal.
There's nothing you can defend yourself with in that situation. I mean, you're just gonna die.
Yeah.
So,
Turn one, those magma cannons
yeah.
are coming right on over.
Yeah. Use a
That's
different army.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. The
Yeah.
war machines in there are nuts.
Right.
Basically nuts. Did drop the upgrades for him though. That's what I found out is that for the 6 war machines to upgrade them with one of the 25 point upgrades is 150 points.
Right.
Right. Well, you can just buy another thing. For that.
Get another war
just
machine.
Get another war machine and write one of them off.
You're probably wounded
on
on a
the
tough.
Well,
or a
here's the
6
problem.
6 is to wound anyway.
There's 2 upgrades they can have. One is the carriage, the steam carriage, which is like a flatbed railroad car that it's on. and supposedly it's towed up to the battlefield beforehand. And you've also got Hellbound, which gives +1 toughness, +1 wounds. But guess what? Stuff usually wounds a war machine on a 6 anyway.
Right.
So the toughness 8 isn't really helping you.
And the Hellbound can potentially eat your own crew, right? It can kill your
Yeah,
own
if
crew
you
guys.
get a misfire, which you really won't if you have enough demon smiths, but if you do, you take D3 wounds, which for a 3 wound item, oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
The steam carriage is awesome because it gives you
Line of sight.
hard cover, betters your line of sight. Although, if you look on the White Dwarf site, or not the Forge World site, the war machines have crew kind of up top. They're elevated. They're very elevated.
Huh.
And I'm like, okay, well, that's line of sight
So
over
you-
these stunty little
you have it
chaos
already.
dwarfs. You can see, you do.
Okay.
You have it without the carriage.
Gotcha.
But the carriage is hard cover, which is -2 to shooting, and defended obstacle -1 in close combat. That's a big deal. But you have to buy a 300-point demon engine in order just to be able to buy that upgrade. And I'm sorry, I'm spending my 300 points elsewhere.
Yeah. Is the Demon Engine a rare, or is it special?
It is a special.
Okay.
Yep. And it's basically a glorified chariot, kind of steam tankish,
Uh-huh.
with a cannon, or you can give it a close combat thing. So anyway, well, that's it. And that's future of Valhalla. Valhalla is undergoing an evolution, but for the remaining events this year, get your ticket as soon as possible and get on board with what we're doing. They're going to be fantastic. And yeah, these guys got to be treated like kings, have awesome wargaming for 4 days, fed like royalty, and
Treated very well.
also meet and play with all the staff and socialize.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, we're out.
Yep.
This is Jason H. and
Hello.
Sean G.
Signing off.
All right, so here's lunch.
Yes, a little fork.
Yes, yum-tastic. That is great. And all this, like, what do we have? Tuna salad?
No, that's
potato salad?
rotisserie chicken salad.
Rotisserie chicken salad?
It's for
Potato salad.
It can go in the croissants.
Oh, that's yummy. Absolutely yum-tastic. Yeah, those burgers were ridiculous. They were so good. They were amazingly good. Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, do we have any, like, still stowed away somewhere?
Yeah, they're
Like
up.
hot dogs
We've
and
got
stuff?
some
Ooh.
All right. Still open.
So much food, so little intestines.